Mephibosheth was a prince. He was Jonathan's son. He was Saul's grandson. He had royal blood flowing in his veins. But life took a sharp, unexpected turn. Tragedy struck his young life suddenly. He was just a little boy then. His world changed in an instant, forever. There was a terrible accident. His nurse was filled with fear. She tried to run away quickly. In her haste, she dropped little Mephibosheth. Both his tender feet were badly injured. He became lame, unable to walk properly. He was only 5 years old at the time. He lived in hiding, his heart full of fear. King David remembered something important. He remembered his dear friend Jonathan. He had made a solemn promise to him. "Is anyone left from Saul's family?" David asked. David wanted to show incredible kindness. God's own special kind of kindness. He deeply desired to do this for Jonathan. It was a promise kept deep from his heart. They found Mephibosheth in Lodabar. He came before the mighty King David. He felt so very small, so utterly unworthy. "I am like a dead dog," he whispered. He expected harsh words, or perhaps worse. He certainly did not expect to receive grace. His physical lameness made him feel deep shame. He could not see his own value or worth. But King David saw things differently. He did not see a dead dog at all. He saw Jonathan's beloved son. He saw someone to whom he could show. This was loyal, loving, covenant kindness. An amazing invitation was then given, to eat at the king's own table, not just once but always, every single day. Picture Mephibosheth sitting there, at the grand royal table of the king. He was an honored and respected guest, eating day by day with the king's own sons. From Lodabar's place of emptiness and nothing, to the king's bountiful and generous fullness. What an incredible, life-altering change this was. His life was turned right side up by grace. Then there was the king's tablecloth. It was long, flowing, and beautifully made. It covered the entire table generously. It reached all the way down to the floor. When Mephibosheth sat, his lame feet were hidden. No one at the table could see his brokenness. The elegant cloth completely concealed his infirmity. It was a quiet symbol of full acceptance. This covering is just like God's amazing grace. We all have our own hidden imperfections. We all carry secret struggles and shames, things we desperately want to keep concealed. God's grace is exactly like that tablecloth. It tenderly covers all our brokenness. It allows us to sit at His holy table, not because we are perfect, but because He is gracious. Now, let us think about the Ark of the Covenant. It was God's very special and sacred chest. It held several important, symbolic items inside. These were not trophies of human achievement. Instead, they were profound reminders of failure, reminders of Israel's repeated, painful rebellion. They spoke volumes about profound human weakness. God wanted His people to remember these things. Inside the ark, there was a golden pot of manna. This was God's miraculous food from heaven. But the people had grumbled and complained. They grew tired of the heavenly provision. The manna represented their deep discontent, their consistent lack of faith and trust, their sadly short and ungrateful memory. It was a sign of their spiritual hunger for more. Aaron's wooden rod was also kept there. This was the special rod that had budded. It clearly showed God's chosen leadership, but it also recalled a time of great rebellion, the uprising against God's appointed leaders. It symbolized a stubborn and stiff-necked people, a people prone to questioning God's authority. It was a testament to their defiant spirit. And finally, there were the stone tablets. These held the 10 Commandments, God's law, God's perfect and holy standard for living. But these laws had been broken, repeatedly. They had been ignored and disobeyed by the people. The tablets seemed to scream of constant sin. They highlighted humanity's inability to be truly good. They were a stark reminder of continuous failure. The lid of the ark was very special. It was called the mercy seat, or atonement cover. It was crafted entirely of pure, shining gold. It was the specific place of God's atonement. Once a year, sacred blood was sprinkled there. This action covered the symbols of rebellion. It covered all the reminders of sin. This was God's incredible loving design for mercy. God's mercy is just like that mercy seat. It is just like King David's generous tablecloth. It lovingly covers all our sin and shame. It hides our deepest, most hidden flaws. God chooses not to see them anymore. Not because those sins simply vanish away, but because His powerful mercy triumphs over judgment. His grace is a free, unearned, wonderful gift. Mephibosheth did absolutely nothing to earn his place. He was lame, broken, and physically challenged. He came from the house of Saul, David's enemy. Yet unexpected kindness found him right where he was. He received full restoration and incredible honor. This is the very essence of pure, unadulterated grace, an undeserved gift, given freely from love. He was simply a recipient of the king's favor. When we truly begin to understand God's mercy, when we deeply feel the touch of His grace, our hearts are profoundly and forever changed. Our own lameness no longer defines who we are. His overwhelming love for us defines us instead. A spirit of deep gratitude begins to overflow. We then desire to live completely for Him, not out of fear but out of pure devoted love.